Hey everyone, welcome. Today we're taking you back to the year 1998. The year Apple announces its first iMac and Google was founded. And the computer components right in front of us were made.
What we're going to do with all these components is build the ultimate multimedia PC from 1998. We came to this idea to just build a PC and see what it was still capable of up to this day.
After almost 20 years.
After almost 20 years. So the key thing of doing this and building this PC is that every single component that we have in front of us is older than 1998 or built in the year 98. So we're not going to use any components that are any newer than 98. So that's basically the thing that we're going to do. Build a PC, run it with Windows 98.
Of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
And just see what it's capable of.
Yeah. We also tested a few other components as you see them there. Those are all faulty or newer than 1998. So these are the components we came up with. This is going to be it. Let's go through the components one by one. First we start with the motherboard. It's the AX6BC from AOpen. It's a slot 1 motherboard, supports Pentium 2 and with later BIOS updates it supports Pentium 3. It's an AGP x2 slot, 5 PCI ports and also 2 ISA ports. It supports up to 768 megabytes of SD-RAM and also it has 2 IDE slots for 4 devices and a floppy drive connector and some other stuff. It's one of the high-end ATX motherboards from 1998. So that's the motherboard. And
just to point it out, the BIOS that we're using is also from 98. So we're not using any newer BIOSes from 2000 or 2001. Grab something in?
Yeah.
So the next component we have here is the processor that we're going to use. This is a Pentium 2, 350 megahertz, and it's actively cooled. It has a fan. Most models from that time just were passively cooled, but yeah, this one has a fan, so that's nice. So that's the processor that we're going to use.
Maybe we're going to overclock this one, and let's see how far it goes, and what use we can squeeze out of this. Yeah.
So that's the processor.
The heart of our computer.
Yeah.
Of course, our computer does need a power supply. This is a 250 watt cogen power supply.
Yeah.
It's a standard ATX power supply with some Molex connectors and also a floppy drive connector, which we're going to need for our computer.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the power supply, nothing more to say about that. Let's continue.
Okay. For graphics, video.
Very important.
Very important, of course. We need some vision. We're going to use a Diamond Viper, and this is the V550 model. It contains 16 megabytes of RAM. It's the contestant of the Voodoo 2, and it has one video port, which was quite common at the time. So this card is passively cooled. It doesn't have a fan. It's an AGP slot. It runs on NVIDIA's Riva TNT. It's also one of the first cards that was accommodated with Riva TNT. Most people that think about retro gaming and old video cards think about the Voodoo cards like that. But Diamond Viper also was a big player for that time. So that's the graphics card that we're going to use.
Okay, so with some fancy computer graphics, we're also going to need some fancy computer sound. So for that, we have chosen the sound card from Creative Labs, based on Ensonic's 4810 chip. It's a standard PCI sound card, just stereo, the standard audio in connectors for the CD drives, etc. And it also has 128 MIDI voices. So yeah, this is going to be our sound blaster, I must say. But
the sound blaster, yeah.
Okay, later I think, but yeah. It's going to be the sound card we're going to use for our multimedia system.
So of course, with everything here, with some good sound, graphics, we need a place to store everything. So here we have 2 hard drives, both IDE, accompanied with the cables that we are going to need to connect them, of course. So, the first drive we have here is from Seagate. It's the Seagate Medalist 4321 for storage. This one is 4 gigabytes. Also produced, of course, in '98. It is ultra ATA capable, so that's the first drive.
This is the 4 gigabyte. I think we're going to need this one for the games we're going to install.
Yeah, but we're going to use it as a secondary drive for the games and software. For the second drive, we're going to use this one. This is a Quantum Fireball, 6.4 gigabyte. So we're going to be using this one mainly for Windows, for the operating system. Maybe some software to run next to it, but yeah, mainly Windows. So that's this one.
With all this storage, we also need some internet, so we can fill up our storage. Going to do that with this one, and this is a LAN-COM PCI Ethernet card 1000 megabit, based on a Realtek chip. Can't remember the exact model of the Realtek chip, but it's a LAN-COM. So yeah, this is going to connect us to the internet.
Yeah. So for RAM, we're going to use 3 times 128 megabytes.
It was an awful lot for that time.
Yeah, for that time it was quite a lot.
96 megabytes.
Yeah, I think at the time most PCs had about 64, maybe some PCs 128. So this is this is quite a bit what we have here for all three. The motherboard only supports like 3 slots, so we couldn't use more than 3.
And we also had some other memory modules that were all faulty or not responding at all.
Yeah, we tested quite a bit,
Yeah.
and these were the models that came out working fine, also working fine together.
Yeah, and tested it with Mentest, of course. Same goes for the hard drives. Also tested it.
Yeah. So that's the RAM that we're going to use.
Yeah. And for installing Windows, we're going to need an optical drive, and for that, I will leave it there. You can see here it's a 36 times CD-Rom drive, also from before '98. It was made by Philips. That's going to be our CD-Rom drive we're going to use. Also, as you can see next to Chevy, we tested a lot of optical drives, and they were all faulty, or you couldn't even open the tray.
No, you couldn't even open the tray, or
they were making really weird noises.
Yeah, scratching CDs and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So
and with that, of course, as you can see, we're going to install Windows 98 on this system, and also with a nice fancy office suite. So that's the optical drive. With the optical drive, we'll not go in real deep with this, but it's our floppy drive, just a standard 3.5 inch 1.44 floppy drive.
yeah, and it's made by Mitsubishi. I wonder what the exhaust sound of this will be like.
Or maybe this was an Evolution too.
Maybe.
Okay.
And of course, with that we need input devices. What we have here is a keyboard, an old keyboard, which was made by Chicone.
Yeah.
It was quite fancy for the time with multimedia hotkeys. You know, you can use all these things for some quick internet browsing, back and forward, stuff like that. This thing was really dirty when we got it. So we spent a lot of time, Booby Shop spent a lot of time cleaning it. We took out all the keys, every single one, and gave him a good wash.
Yeah.
So that's, yeah, it's just PS2 connector, which was really common at the time for keyboards, of course.
No more AT connectors, the big pins.
The big
No
pins.
more. Just PS2.
So yeah,
It's a nice keyboard. Yeah.
it's really nice.
It's a good touch. It's a rubber dome keyboard, no mechanical keyboard.
No.
We have looked into some mechanical IBM keyboards, but they're really expensive to get your hands on.
Yeah.
So we just went with this one.
Yeah, we were not able to find those.
No.
So that's the keyboard.
No.
So
Yeah. Also the mouse, nothing fancy, but cool thing is this one is USB. The downside of these mice were that you need to clean them quite regularly, otherwise they wouldn't move at all on the screen. It was really tedious work. All these nice components of course need to be built in a computer case. For that case we chose this one. It's a quite heavy.
Yeah, it's really heavy.
Yeah. Back in the day they know how to build these cases, made out of steel. It's a full tower. ATX of course, I don't actually know the brand of this case. Maybe it's on the bottom. Nope, stop.
Yeah, we don't know what brand this case is.
No.
It doesn't say anything anywhere on there.
We just call it the retro gaming case. The fun aspect of this case is what you can see with cases these days is that the motherboard tray is actually, if you loosen up some screws, extractable from the case. So
yeah.
you can build up in your, or you can build in your components and just slide the bracket right in. Very cool.
Yeah.
Also has some design for airflow. You can fit a 80mm fan in the front for the intake, and for the exhaust you can also fit an 80mm fan in there. The power supply unit goes on top of the motherboard tray, and also you can fit in 3 hard drives or 2 hard drives and a floppy drive of course, and you can fit in 5 optical disk drives. So back in the day, if you wanted a burning server, or should I say that, a burning server, can fit in 5 of these drives, and yeah.
Yeah. This case was really capable of doing that, of functioning as a burn server or something like that. Yeah.
Good old days. Yeah. So we're going to build the components we have here inside this case.
Yeah.
And we're going to install Windows 98 on there. Of course, we're going to format the hard drives, going to build all the stuff in, going to install Windows on this, and we check back with you once we installed everything.
Yep.
Good idea?
Good idea. Yeah, we're gonna do it.
Let's do it! Okay, so Windows is running, as you can see.
Yeah, we've completed the build.
Yeah.
Everything works fine.
According to plan this time.
It took a while, but yeah, that's to be expected with Windows 98.
Yeah, the time lapse is of course very short, but the actual installation time took about 1 hour.
Yeah, close to
1
an
hour
hour.
or so.
Yeah, yeah. It takes some time.
Yeah, as you can see, the screen is not the screen we wanted for this build. At first we searched for a screen that was also a TFT panel, but from 98, but those are really hard to get. Then we went for a CRT screen and we hoped...
yeah, we hoped to find something.
Yeah.
At local stores. We were not able to find anything.
No, we were for all the components we went to different stores, all second-hand shops.
Yeah.
I think close to 4 or...
Yeah, 4 or 5.
4 or 5 stores. And of course the components we already had, some of my office and some at your place.
Yeah.
But the other components we get from second-hand shops. But none of them had a screen from 98 or before.
No,
So,
they were all newer.
no, maybe if we get one in time for the other videos, because this will be a video series. If we get one in time, we will swap this TFT screen for a more retro-like display. Yeah, if you have any suggestions for games you would like to see running on the system, please let us know in the comment section.
And maybe other stuff like software that you want to know if it still runs on 98. We can try it out.
So yeah, that's it for now for this video. I hope to see you in the next one where we try out your suggestions. If you like this one, please give a thumbs up. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.